is Oh My Gut female version. So if you want to know what we girls talk about behind closed doors, this is all about it. But today we're going to talk specifically about our period and losing it. Yes, you can lose your period. I lost my period when I was a raw vegan, actually, for a while, like maybe 3 to 6 months, because I was under eating and over exercising. And I actually researched, is it normal to lose your period? And then the raw vegan forums say, yeah, it is, and think about people in the past. They wouldn't have pads, so it's okay to lose your period because how would they have cleaned up? And I'm like, yeah, like cavemen kind of thing. So that was what I read, and I was very ignorant 10 years ago. But when I met my friend here, Sarah, she is an amazing, amazing human being, firstly, real. And then she's also a nutritional therapist, and she's a franchise owner of The Source. She told me about her story losing your period, right? So, Sarah, let them know what's going on.
So I actually lost my period for 4 years. 4 years. At the time, I had just started CrossFit, and I started competing in CrossFit as well. It was completely different from the athletic training I was doing before. I was mainly playing team sports growing up, and suddenly started going into weight training and high intensity training, training almost 6 times a week and 3 to 4 hours a day, that kind of thing. So it was really intense. And at the same time, I had just moved countries to go to university. I was the new kid in school, which I'd never been before. So it was a lot going on. And I noticed my period was starting to become, more spread out.
Yeah.
So it started with it coming every 3 months, then 6 months, 9 months, and then after a while it just disappeared completely.
Oh, no.
And I was under the impression that maybe it was, just exam stress, just very minor things. And
did you research, cave people?
I didn't research cave people. I was just like, what happens when you lose your period? Or why is my period gone? And most of the forums would just say it's stress.
No.
But what we don't always realize is exercise is a stressor too. Not eating enough food is a stressor as well, which was potentially what I was doing with all the physical activity I was doing. Yeah. I wasn't eating enough food to fuel my activities, even though I thought I was eating very healthy. But by eating clean and healthy, you actually consume probably fewer calories than you think you are. Because it might be a lot of volume with fruits and vegetables and grains and lean meats and all that, but compared to, say, something processed, which is quite calorie dense, these whole foods may not give you enough energy to fuel, a lot of high intensity training and weight training and all that. But I was quite in denial about the fact that, maybe my training was too much.
Yeah.
I would say ignorant.
Determined.
Yeah. I mean, I did want to be the best athlete I could be, and that was the only goal in mind. But I think I also struggled with this idea of having aesthetic goals as well. I wanted to make sure I looked like an athlete and looked like I lifted weights while also being that athlete. And sometimes those two goals are kind of contradictory to each other. You can't always have it both ways, especially if you're trying to eat enough to fuel performance goals, right? But anyway, my body saw that as, just compounding stress, one on top of each other. And in the end, it just shut down my reproductive system, which is what your body does. I mean, your body, it's still very primal. It still hasn't evolved to, catch up to our modern stressors. So it can't really differentiate between, you trying to run away from a lion in the wild and you trying to sprint 400 meters down the road, right? Same thing.
Yes.
It's mentally, it's completely different, but physiologically, your body thinks it's the same thing. Or even something like exam stress, school stress, work stress, family stress. It's all just stress to your body. The same hormones, stress hormones are produced. So it reacted in that way. It said, the body doesn't feel safe to be able to create a human being. So we don't need to reproduce, and therefore we're just going to shut down all sex hormones and reproductive hormones, which is why I lost my period in the first place. Yeah.
Your body knows that you're stressed enough, so they don't want to give you another life to stress about.
Exactly, because it takes a lot of resources to, get pregnant, grow a human in you, and then deliver that human, right? So it wants to save the resources as much as possible, so it shuts down anything that's non-essential systems in the body.
Yeah.
So yeah, reproduction is the first thing to go. It's not essential for us, to our own individual survival, to have to reproduce.
Yeah. So you were mentioning you lost it. It was a gradual process. So like 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and then eventually totally losing it. And you think that, oh yeah, it's stress. It's normal to have that kind of stress. I mean, some level of stress is good, but it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you competitive and productive. But if you hit that point, when do you know it's that point, and how do you then respond to that point? Do you still, because you have goals you want to hit, right? So how do you then balance out, I want to reach those goals, but the stress is sort of affecting my health and body, so how can I handle that?
I think it's realizing what is important to you at the time. In the long run, what's really important to you. So yes, short-term wise, I wanted to be a top athlete, I wanted to perform, I had performance goals, but down the road, was that really important to me, And looking at my long-term health, I finally came to realize that, taking care of this side of my health, both mentally and physically, looking after my hormones and making sure I'm a healthy human being in the first place, is more important than, the short-term athletic pursuits that I was trying to have. And yeah, so just kind of prioritizing things in my life and making sure that I had to eliminate what I needed to eliminate from the stressors in my life, which included heavy training, high-intensity training, and making sure that I was eating enough, making sure that, the stress from school, the stress from work was manageable as well.
Yeah, 100%, because when we think about fitness goals, be it weight loss or muscle gain, a lot of times when we are given like some suggestions or meal plan, they always focus on your macros and your calorie count and hitting a level of exercise and a number of minutes and so on. But one thing they don't talk about, especially for us ladies, is the hormones, and also how do you feel, like stress, and how do you achieve your goals? Is it through time frame, or is it more of adjusting your habits and making it a bit more sustainable? Because we don't usually talk about that, right?
Yeah.
So I realize now that I'm on this new journey. I see myself as, I want to be healthy even when I'm old.
Yeah.
I want to be able to go hiking at 70.
Yeah.
That kind of goals. But it started aesthetic, right? It was aesthetic at first, and then we evolved after that. So I'm sure with all the stress and different diets, different ways of eating and under-eating, over-exercising, that must have affected your gut quite a bit as well, right? So how was it like, and then how did you start to realize it and take action?
Well, I mean, we talked about this before, the food intolerances and sensitivities that I had, and I noticed I was getting worse and worse, the symptoms. I was bloated all the time, especially when I didn't have a period at all. I thought they were potential PMS symptoms, but no, I was always bloated. I was always feeling a little bit indigested no matter what I ate. And I just knew that there was a lot of inflammation going on in my body as well. And so when I was learning about nutrition and being certified as a nutritionist, I began to learn about how the inflammation in your gut kind of translates towards the rest of your body. So during my healing journey, I really focused on my gut first, healing all of that, trying to reduce the inflammation through the food that I ate, through the healing of my intestinal walls and all that. And really your hormones are affected by your gut as well. So things like your liver is a digestive organ. It's also, it filters out all the hormones in there. So if it's overworked, it's not going to be filtering out the excess hormones that are building up in your body. it's not going to be filtering out the toxins in your body. And if you have a buildup of toxins, then that contributes to the inflammation as well. So it's all this like vicious circle kind of thing. So you really want to start from the foundations. One, making sure you're eating good food, making sure you're eating enough food to make sure your body feels safe, and then really taking care of potential allergens, intolerances, aggravators in your body. Because if you are facing these kinds of symptoms and aggravations, that is also another physiological stress to your body. So gut issues, digestive issues is another form of stress to your body, as well. So I just wanted to eliminate that side of stress, the digestive stress, in hopes of bringing down, my stress levels. So that was just one aspect of it as well.
So it's part of a holistic plan, and that is a big element of that you're healing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's working on the physical stress, eliminating that, eliminating mental stress, but also eliminating any physiological stress inside the body systems.
Yeah. So are you having your period more regularly now? I think that's an important question.
I am. So I got my period back February 2019.
Pop the champagne!
Woo! And haven't missed one since, which is even better. Yeah. And it's just a testament to all the years of hard work, and it was frustrating. I will tell you that. And sometimes you don't see what the point is or what the point of doing certain things are because you don't see the immediate effects. But in the long run, you just have to trust that you are doing things for your long-term health. They are having an effect, albeit small, but trust that your body knows what to do with these things and with these nutrients, and trust that your body is intelligent enough to tell you when too much is too much at the same time.
So I sense, and I'm sure you can sense, that you're a very positive person, right? Like, I think it's also through a consistent effort of making that happen. So how is that journey like for you in terms of managing your mental health, wellness, emotional wellness, so that you can reduce that element of stress too, right? It affects your overall being. So what did you do, and how did you make it consistent, even on days that are so horrible?
Right. I think it's important to have a good support system around you. Your friends and family have to understand your journey as well, and that's really important that you set boundaries around it. It depends, like, even if it's around the food that you eat, and just helping them understand that you have to eat a certain way for this period of time because you are going through these health issues at the moment. It's not forever, but this is something that you need to do for yourself and you need to try for yourself. One big thing for me was letting go of the identity of being an athlete or a performance athlete, and I tied my identity a lot to, being a CrossFit athlete, and just letting go of that, and prioritizing my health over what other people think of me was really, really essential towards my healing journey as well. And just taking it one day at a time, and just be consistent, trust the journey, trust the process. And at the end of the day, you're only doing things to help yourself. Right?
It's true. Yeah. As I used to be called the broccoli girl, because I snack on vegetables all day, every day.
CrossFit girl and broccoli girl coming at you.
But the funny thing is, actually, broccoli makes me bloat. I've come to realize that. So I have actually removed broccoli from my diet in a while, and it's great. So ironically, broccoli girl here is allergic to broccoli.
Well, it's okay. I haven't done CrossFit in about 3 years, so.
See? So CrossFit girl and broccoli girl is telling you it's okay. We have seasons, and it's all right to be different in every season, right?
Yeah. And your body's constantly changing. So what worked for you 3 months ago, 3 years ago, might not work for you right now, just because of the things that are going on in your life. And it's okay to eat differently, to train differently, to enjoy different things than what used to be. So, yeah, just live your life.
Just chill, just a little. I am curious, if let's say you rented a billboard and it's right smack in the center where everyone can see it, what would you display on that billboard?
Oh, such a hard question. Can I say you need your period, ladies?
You need your period.
You need to be bleeding.
Period. No.
Yeah, period.
You need to be bleeding regularly.
Yeah. No, but it's so important. I mean, we see, especially if you're in the health and fitness space, if you're on Instagram following all of these Fitspos and influencers, you know, people don't talk about the fact that, you know, they get these photo shoots done when they're in peak condition, or they diet down maybe for these photo shoots and video shoots.
They dehydrate themselves.
They dehydrate themselves. They are very dehydrated on very low calories for the majority of the time. And then they recycle these photos throughout the year. I mean, this is, it's marketing. It's their brand. It's their business. They have to do it. They have to portray themselves a certain way. But I think a lot of people don't necessarily realize it, or they're not conscious of it. And so they think, oh, like this Fitspo is like this all year round. I can be like that too. Oh, this girl takes like 7 spin classes a day. I can as well. Please don't do that. But yeah, I mean, social media has become this highlight reel, and they don't talk about the fact that these female bodybuilders might not have a period, or female athletes might be on hormonal birth control or the pill, which masks the symptoms of, you know, not having a period, or hormonal imbalances, or poor gut health even. And they just think it's okay and it's normal when it's not. It might be common, but it's not normal.
The thing is, it's common, but it's not normal.
It's not normal.
Yeah.
To not have your period.
Cave people, don't listen to them about periods, okay? Regulate it. Yes, I love your billboard display.
Yeah.
It'll be like,
you need to have a period. Period.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. And this is us girls talking, and it's really important that we start being more aware and we start talking about it a bit more. And if we have questions you never thought you want to ask, or you were too embarrassed to ask, or you think you're the only one facing it, chances are there are other people who, you know, face the same things.
Yeah.
Because when we spoke, we were like, no way.
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding.
Exactly.
Yeah, so just ask away if you have any questions, if you want to know anything. Don't be embarrassed, because sometimes you might be helping someone if you ask something. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening. This is brought to you by ex-CrossFit Girl and ex-Broccoli Girl. And we will share with you more information about ingredients that help our gut. And we'll see you soon.